Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Raymart and I'm the maker behind Crochets that Raise, a small business focused on creating crochet plushies or amigurumi. Welcome to this video. Here I'm doing a recap of my market back in June. I had a 2-day market called Open House Creative Fest. It was in Torrance, California. This was a very cool market where it was centered around small businesses and makers. And the focus of this market was being able to teach people about their business or give them a glimpse of the kind of things that they do. I originally applied to this market to have my own lead activity where I originally thought of having partially finished plushies. So I was thinking of having small cookies that people could have as keychains, and then I would teach them how to embroider the face details, so the eyes, smile, eyebrows. But I honestly didn't have much time to prepare for that market. So the organizer, Lauren, such the sweetest person, she was very willing to work with me and decided that I could join one of the sections, the activity gardens, and kind of just be around, helping lead different activities for yarn. Not necessarily leading organized activity for them, but just being around, maybe teaching people a few things about crochet. So I was able to do that. But also in addition to that, I was able to sell some of my handmade plushies. Cool thing about this market is that it was held at an old Torrance store at the Del Amo Mall in Torrance. So I'm sure that also attracted a lot of people to come by to the market. So my overall experience at this event was very good. I had a lot of sales, a lot of interactions with people who are interested in learning about crochet. I had a chance to actually try to teach other people how to crochet. That in itself was also a challenge because I'm self-taught for crochet. I've learned through just watching YouTube videos. So being able to communicate and teach someone how to do something that works for you but might not necessarily work for other people was kind of hard. So it was a challenge at first, but after teaching a few people, I think I kind of figured out a good balance of how to teach them and be able to help them out and get them started on a few stitches. But also the biggest part was just how much traffic there was at the table. I had a lot of people coming in wanting to sit down and try to learn some crochet stitches and learn how to crochet, but also people coming by and wanting to buy things from me. So having to balance around that was a bit of a challenge at first, but you kind of just learn as you go. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone that stopped by to learn about my small business and want to actually learn how to crochet. It was a fun hobby for me to pick up, and I'm sure it's something that other people would enjoy if they give it the chance. And as they keep practicing, maybe they'll be able to make some of the plushies that I make or just figure out their own cool projects to work on. And now the next few clips were recorded a while back of me just showing all my inventory, so showing off all of the plushies that I brought, and then I'll also go over the numbers of how many of each item sold, and then going over at the end the overall results. Okay, so in these bins is pretty much all the inventory that I brought. So as we're going through all this, I'm also pretty much taking inventory myself, going over. I'm keeping track of what I have left, and I also already had a list of everything that I had beforehand, so I'm just cross-referencing and keeping track of what's sold and what I have left. I'll have all the links to all the different patterns and designers down below in the description, so if you want to check them out and make them for yourself. So first we have one Raichu. I listed it as $70. And then I had this medium-sized whale. and I listed that one as $12. And then I have a large octopus, and I listed that as $20. I have this Anubis plushie, listed that as $70. Platypus snugglers, one in a terracotta and gray color, and then one in a teal and orange color. I listed both of them for $30. And I listed Elliot the elephant snuggler in a toffee color for $40. And then I have Stanley the scarecrow. I listed that for $60. And then we have this rogue frog plushie. I listed as $50. And then we have this bat, and I listed that one for $45. These loaf puppies, I had a total of 4, and I have these 3 left. I listed each for $20. And then we have this green splooting triceratops. I priced it at $25. This titmouse bird that I listed for $15. And then we have my 2 prototype macaron sea turtles. So since these were my prototypes, I listed them slightly cheaper price than the other ones that I brought. So these green and brown macaron sea turtles I listed for $50 each. And then for the other 3 macaron sea turtles I had in the red and pink, gray and navy, and toffee and sage colors, I listed those ones for $60 each. And then this large macaron plushie called Maru the macaron, I listed for $25. I have these 2 popping mushroom plushies. I brought a total of 3 and 1 sold at the market. 2 chubby dinos to the market, and the one that sold was a red, and I priced each at $15. 2 polar bears to the market and 1 sold, and then this T-Rex bub, each one was priced for $20. And then I brought a total of 11 of these baby snake plushies, and the ones that sold at the market was one in a black mystical burnet color, green tie-dye color, a red and white one, and then these were the ones that I had left over, and I priced each for $12. So we have 3 pie turtles, 1 blueberry, 1 pumpkin, and 1 cherry, and I priced them for $30 each. As you can see, I have 9 baby stingrays left over, and I brought a total of 16 to the market. 2 green ones sold, 1 orange sold, 1 red and 1 blue, and 2 mint colored baby stingrays sold, and I priced each for $8. And then I had a total of 12 of these baby turtle plushies, and then 5 of them sold at the market. The ones that sold were a gray and navy colored, an orange and dark chocolate, a sand and green colored, a white and blue, a white and purple, and then the ones that I'm showing are all the turtles that I have left over. And each of the baby turtles I priced at $12 each. Next up we have baby axolotls. I brought a total of 6 to the market. 1 gray, 1 sold, 1 purple, and 1 blue sold, and I priced each baby axolotl for $15. Itty bitty popping mushrooms, I brought a total of 11, and 5 of them sold, and I priced each of them at $8. We have these small ghosts. I brought 3 white ghosts, and 1 of them sold, and then also brought 4 of these colored ones, and each of them were priced at $5. I brought a total of 14 to the market. These small macaron plushies, and none of them sold. I priced each of them at $15. And then I brought these small jellyfish plushies. I brought a total of 4, and 1 of them sold. These small octopus, in total I brought 6 to the market, and 2 of them sold. And now on to keychains, priced at $5 each. I did a deal where 2 were sold for $8. So I brought a total of 3 platypus keychains, a blue and orange one, and then this brown and gray colored one. And then I have these summer themed keychains, a total of 4. The one that sold was a blue ice cream cone. Next up we have these baby crab keychains. I brought a total of 4 to the market in blue, green, orange, and yellow, and none of them sold. And then I brought these baby chick keychains in different colors. I brought 4 yellow, and 1 of them sold. 1 blue, I brought 2 orange, I brought 2 pink, and then 2 purple, and none of them sold. And then I have these mini bee keychains. I brought 3 yellow, and 1 of them sold. Highlighter pink color, green, orange, 1 light blue, and 1 purple bee. I brought a total of 11 tiny jellyfish keychains. 1 of them sold in a red color. I brought 2 tiny octopus keychains and none of them sold. 3 orange and none of them sold. 3 yellow and none of them sold. 1 neon green and none of them sold. 2 mint and 1 of them sold. 3 blue and 1 of them sold. 3 purple and none of them sold. And then I brought 4 red baby whale keychains and none of them sold. 4 blue and none of them sold. 4 dark green, none of them sold. 3 of these Kelly green colored and none of them sold. 3 mint whales and 1 of them sold. 4 orange and none of them sold. 4 purple and none of them sold. And 4 yellow baby whales and none of them sold. So I brought a total of 17 of these mystery cookie bags, and then 3 out of the 17 sold, and I priced each mystery bag at $15. So there were some items that I sold out of, so I don't really have a physical plushie to show, but I'll go over the numbers that I brought, how many sold, and just how much I sold each of those items for. So if I'm looking off to the side, it's because I'm looking at my notes on the screen. Bear with me. So I had 1 tiny frog keychain in a almost Kelly green color that I made a big twist posh. So that's sold for $5. I had a tiny turtle that was a mint body and then a navy colored shell. So if I have a photo, I'll add it here. I sold that as a keychain for $5. And then I sold out of these mini candy corn plushies. The pattern is by the Crochet Carpenter. I brought 4 to the market and all 4 sold, and I priced those at $5 each. And then I had a small capybara keychain. I sold that for $5. I don't remember who the pattern is by, but I'll link that down below if you guys want to check it out. It was a free pattern on Instagram, I believe. And then I brought a total of 2 Mabel chickens. The pattern is by Oak and Marlowe. The 2 that I did have was a white colored, and then 1 was the sea tweed, both burnap blanket, and both of them sold for $12 each. I had 2 pigeon plushies. The pattern is by Annie Caraway Art. I sold each for $15. I'll have a photo up on the screen of what that plushie looked like. And then I brought 2 loaf kittens. I sold each for $20. One was a variegated color called Terracotta from Big Twist Plush. The other one was another variegated color called Rain Wheel by Yarn Bee, Cozy Occasions from Hobby Lobby. And then I brought a penguin plushie. The pattern is called Penelope Penguin by the Mystical Magic Ring. So it was gray and black. I sold that one for $25. And then I had 2 Grim Bros, 1 green and 1 blue that I made out of Big Twist Posh. Each one I sold each for $25. That pattern is by Woolly Amigurumis. And then I had a frog plushie. And I forget who the creator is for that pattern, but I'll link them down below. And I also have a photo up on the screen. That one I sold for $25. Ooh, and then I also brought a total of, let me count them, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, so I had a total of 6 musubis. So it's using my musubi buddy pattern that I have on Etsy. I'll link that one down below. I also have a photo of what all of those 3 look like. I have a spam musubi, a hot dog musubi, so it's a sliced open red hot dog, and then a deluxe spam musubi where you also have a tamago egg with the spam. So I brought 3 classic spam musubis, 1 hot dog musubi, and then 2 deluxe spam musubis. The deluxe spam one I sold for $35. And then the spam and the hot dog ones I sold for $30. And honestly, that was surprising that all 6 of those sold. They were priced pretty high for how small they are, which I'm always nervous about pricing. But it was also the fact that people were recognizing it for a musubi was just made me very happy. Just know that it actually resembles like the actual spam musubi. Oh, and then the most expensive plushie I brought to the market was a Eevee plushie that I made. Such a cute pattern and well written also. So I priced that one at $100. So I have a photo up in here. It's probably one of the earlier plushies that I was a pattern tester for. So I had that one for almost a year now, and I'm surprised that it actually sold. So it went off to the organizer's son, which I don't know why. I felt so bad selling it for such a high price point, but I know that her son really loved it, and I know it's just gonna be cared and loved for very well. Okay, and now the final numbers. So totaling up the number of plushies I sold, it was a total of 71 plushies, and I brought a total of 271. That's probably the most amount of plushies I sold out of all the markets I've done while running my small business. So I'm very thankful for that. Thank you for everyone for coming and visiting and purchasing something for me at the market. And I have a bit of issues with, not really issues, but I know there's some discrepancy between the reported sales, so the amount of money I made, and also just in my spreadsheet of like all the plushies sold and how much I priced them, because I know at the market I kind of changed prices on the spot, so I probably didn't have the time or forgot to note what I priced everything at, or like what I marked down. So my spreadsheet with all my inventory, it's set based on the 71 plushies. It says the total sales from those was $978, but in my notes in what was reported from all transactions, it totaled $946. I'm not going to stress too much about that discrepancy. It's not that much, but yeah, I mean, $946 from 2 days, that's honestly, like, I'm so thankful for the turnout, especially for the way that the market was set up, because I was the area that I was located in and had like all my products displayed. You technically needed you need to purchase a certain like activity pass to get there, and so it's honest, I'm like so surprised people were still buying stuff even after spending that much. Again, I'm just so thankful and appreciative of everyone that stopped by and just like even just giving comments of my work. It's so reassuring getting all those compliments. But yeah, I mean, for the 2-day market, I'm very proud of the turnout. I'm proud of how much I prepared and market prepped for that event. It was a lot of work, but I know it actually paid off. One thing I probably would have to do better for future markets is just my tracking, my bookkeeping, because I know I have my list that I prepare ahead of time of everything that I have and all the prices, but I know at the actual event I do make some changes on the spot, so I have to make sure I keep note of like the price changes, and then I also do have to do a better job of keeping track of what sells, just so I'm not having any discrepancies afterwards when I'm going through my list and after I'm going down the list of everything. So that's just on something that I have to do better at. But yeah, that was pretty much the recap of my market back in June. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed just going over all the inventory, all the numbers. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for all your support, for watching. And if you're new here, don't forget to like this video, also subscribe so you can see more content from me. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very appreciative of all your support, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, bye.